was just about to take us on a walk through how this works. And I want to invite you back anytime, well, not anytime, once a month, if you want to say, here's what's happening on the city council and what concerns the east side particularly, and here's what I think should be done. Well, come on, this is a nice publicity. I know you use Facebook and the social media pretty well.
He does.
But radio, as Mr. Franklin Roosevelt noted, is a great tool. It's sitting by the hearth fire.
And there's a history of radio in his family, which we appreciate as well.
Yeah, right. History of radio. Why don't you mention that?
My father was a part of the WGIV when it first began. He was
this very radio.
His very radio.
This
station.
very radio.
Yeah.
What a blessing!
He worked with a phenomenal lady called Chatty Hattie.
Oh, love that. This very radio.
So he was there, and they got a beautiful photo of my dad at the Levine Museum of History. I have a nice photo of him at the DJ booth.
We've been there. We'll look for that.
It's really it's a big
That's
honor.
a huge blessing.
He was a part of WGIV history.
And that's where we are today, just to let you know.
Mr. Thaddeus Bonaparte Sr.
That is wonderful.
So it's really cool. So, but yeah, we got a history here.
Yeah,
I was going to talk about history. Bonaparte is the name of a rather obscure French general who became Emperor of France. So what's your relation?
And then take us on the walk.
Yeah, I did not take you on the walk.
So
my
little history.
Our genealogy study took us back to Joseph Bonaparte, who was a brother of Napoleon Bonaparte,
King of Spain.
who was the King of Spain, who was exiled from Spain, and he ended up in the great state of New Jersey here in America, where his mansion still resides, and we have a lot of Bonapartes in New Jersey, believe it or not, and he helped start the opera that we now know here in America as well. Joseph Bonaparte did. So it goes back a lot of that. I had the family from Haiti. Haiti was known for helping America during the time of Napoleon's expeditions.
Haiti was the rich.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
So, extremely wealthy.
That's correct. So there are Bonapartes in Haiti as well that have that history. So the Great Louisiana Purchase is, you can give a little credit to Haiti for helping that purchase become reality, because they did a number on Spain. I mean, on Napoleon Bonaparte. So, yeah.
So there is king in you. Yeah, and we see that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So wanting to serve the people is in the gene.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
There's a destiny.
Yeah, but when it comes to the history that I like to discuss regarding Charlotte. I want to take you on just a little walk with me and indulge me for a moment.
Absolutely.
Let's say that I was born and raised here. When I was growing up in the late 70s and 80s, the city of Charlotte, and we talked earlier about things to do, right? The city of Charlotte, especially during the summer months, and the county used to provide free summer camps. And we had summer camps that were paid for, that we could be there all day, just about all day, at least up until 4 p.m. within your community. So there were schools.
That's good.
There were community schools within the community that we could all go to, and you would learn ping pong, horseshoes, baseball, tennis, badminton, chess, checkers. You did all this right there at the camp, and there was camp counselors that were provided by the county and city, and it kept us out of a lot of trouble because we have very positive things to do. And at the end of the summers, it lasted for about 6 weeks. But at the end of the summers, the city and county would have these big tournaments where you would do the 40-yard dash, have the ping pong tournament, you have the checker tournament. They didn't do chess, but we have the checker tournament, and they have the horseshoe tournament, right? And you win trophies, first, second, third place for different age groups. That they did this every summer, and that we look forward to. There were events I placed first in, there was events I placed third in. I still have my trophies from the 1980s. But I'm saying that to say is, we had an investment from the city and county that protected my community. I grew up in a predominantly African-American community in West Charlotte, over by Johnson Smith University. That was called Seversville, Bitterville, Smallwood, Belvedere, all those communities along Batesford Road and Roswell's Ferry Road and such. I grew up in those areas, and these camps saved our lives. Yeah. It kept us positive presence of adults. It gave us positive things to do, and throughout the summers, we looked forward to that. Our parents could not afford. I'm glad it didn't exist then, but they couldn't afford it if it had to be $80 a week for a camp at a YMCA, what have you. they didn't have that. So we had an investment from the city and county that kept us from dealing with drug dealing and other crime and things that could have lured us.
They invested.
And
the fruits of
yes.
it. And the investment brings the fruit.
Yes.
And we need to do that.
And we've gotten so completely far away from that.
Investment brings
We've gotten so far away from that.
We need to come back.
Yes. And so as we
a community, we take care of ourselves.
And when they did away with those programs, that summer camps that was funded by the city and county, crime just exploded in the communities that were really benefiting.
You see a direct correlation.
You do a direct correlation, and it was like we felt like it was by design, because once they started investing in the community, there was nothing left for any positive to do, because they knew families, there were things that families couldn't afford. But as you keep coming forward, and I say to take this journey with me, as we were talking about East Charlotte, and we're talking about Charlotte as a whole city. There was a time back in the 1990s when I worked at Bank of America, and what happened during the day around 1997, I'll never forget it, that a young professional, there was a lady that was shot, killed for her vehicle in broad daylight by a young African-American male who lived in a community called Earl Village that was right uptown. It was right uptown on 7th Street. And he killed this lady in broad daylight, took her vehicle, and that was not good. No. From that point, we had a program that was designed by executives and CEOs of the banks along with City Council called City Within a City Plan. The City Within a City Plan was in response to revitalizing Center City and areas that was within a 5-mile radius of uptown. And what happened from that is this. Those communities, which were predominantly African American, ended up being gentrified big time. So these new catchphrase community names, NODA and South End and all that stuff, all of those communities became
it ain't
less.
The people, it's tossing the people out.
They tossed a lot of people out. Thousands of individuals lost their homes. Okay, there were affordable homes that they were living in. We know that there were homes or communities that were truly, they had crime issues. Legitimately, they did. But we saw that there wasn't effective programming or measures put in place to reduce and remove that crime issues. So what happened? They removed the entire communities. And so through that process of gentrification or revitalization,
that's a euphemism.
We now have what the UNCC study of 2015 said. We have a shortage of 35,000 affordable housing units, and we had thousands of people living in affordable housing units before that City Within a City plan began. Now, redevelopment and revitalization is a good thing, but it can have bad consequences depending on how it's implemented. Right. In this case, it had bad consequences because we created an increase in homelessness. We created an issue of a lack of affordable housing. Yes. We created an issue in East Charlotte that did not have the crime issues until after they started gentrifying and removing those residents in communities that did legitimately have crime, but they were spread throughout areas. They weren't combined and just confined in one area, but they removed residents and issues or communities, and they started now having issues that started happening on Foreign Pond and Redmond Road, Central Avenue, Albemarle Road, Idaho Road, because those communities was where residents had to be moved to. And we started having those crime issues and reports that we never had before. People have and must have somewhere to live. That is a responsibility of our government to ensure that people have safe and affordable and places to live. But the one thing I said first was safe. They should be safe communities to live in. Yes. And that was where they made some missteps, because they didn't continue to provide the safety that a lot of the communities once prided ourselves on, was having safe communities. Those communities that did have those issues, once they became the new place to live, and they went from $400 a month apartment communities to now $1,800 and $2,000 a month, or houses that are now $500,000 in those same communities. But in East Charlotte, our property value started dwindling. But we still have those same homes that are sitting on half an acre, 1 acre, 2 acre lots, 2, 3, and 4,000 square foot homes on lakefront properties in East Charlotte. We still have those beautiful communities that have now been overshadowed with this stigma of there's a crime issue in East Charlotte. So we were the fall region for what the city was doing with that city within the city plan that was formalized in the late 1990s.
Okay,
So we have work to do in East Charlotte, and we need leadership that knows the history, has the
Yes.
courage, the
Yeah.
vision, and the fortitude to make those changes to where the East Charlotte residents will see that somebody has not forgotten them and is putting the reinvestment back into East Charlotte that we so rightly deserve.
Okay, two things. One personal testimony of mine.
That's powerful.
I've been held up at gunpoint more than once. And I talked with the gentleman because we're having an interaction here. You may have a gun, or they had a gun, but it doesn't mean I'm not a human being.
Right.
And I'll never forget one of them. One of them was just wanted some money to get some drugs. When he had some money, basically ran off. One of them, he asked me for all my money, and I said, I need this money because I don't get more money until next Friday. And he said, how much do you need? And I said, 10. He said, well, give me what you got after 10. And I did. Because we could relate as human beings. He needed the money, so he understood I needed the money. You can't just say criminal because they're human beings who've been forced to. Now, the things I would not do. I used to make a joke that I decided as a career I was not going to hold up 7-Elevens. And I've stuck to that.
I'm glad
been
you
dire,
have.
but I never have. But I can understand because I did consider it both as a joke and serious. When I ain't got nothing, I got some sympathy for people you call them criminals. 2, redevelopment. Yeah, you got 1 acre, 2 acres, 3,000 square foot. We live in 1,600 square foot. And that's pretty much, it's decent. It's decent. I might want to build a shed for my workspace so, my dog and my wife don't disturb me when I'm actually trying to work. And there are times when, but I got enough. To redevelop, what would you offer if you had apartments? We're not going to have $400 apartments now. It's not going to happen. That was 20 years ago. When I was in Los Angeles, we went from, when we moved here in 2013, I was paying over $1,200 a month. It's probably about $1,700 a month because they could raise it a certain percentage every year. When I first was there, it was $492 a month. And when I left, it was $1,200 a month. Things do not go down in price. You got to have jobs. Jobs. If I have to work, speaking again, personal testimony, for much less than I'm worth $40 an hour when I work in law. That's what I was getting paid, $40 an hour. I'd work at 10 if I got a chance for getting up to 40, 50, 60, 70. Most people would, because that's how people are. Man likes to work. I like to have a job. I like to have a skeleton to my day. I do not like being abused. I don't like people yelling and bossing me around, but I like the work. Most of them like the work, and I think most people like the work. Got to give people an opportunity and hope. It's not just, I'm going to start at $40 an hour here. I'm not going to. I'll start at 10 if I got a chance to get up to 40 again and go above it. I think most people would. You got to have jobs. It's not just affordable housing. It's people got to go, I can fix up my house. I can be house proud. I can repaint. I can do this. I can do that. I can rewire. I can get it. I can have a home business, get a computer. You got to give people the opportunity to have a job. One of, I don't know if it was Gary Young or the well-dressed gentleman with a lovely Jamaican accent who mentioned affordable housing because affordable people have a job that can pay for it. And that's a good point. And that's a point I agree with. It's not just affordable, it's that I can stand up and I'm a man. I can pay my own way. Man got to have pride. So what are you planning for, God bless you for the affordable housing. God bless you for your passion. But jobs really, 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 really is key.
When it comes to jobs, I don't take too kindly when if even if it was myself or any candidate or official who's saying just blatantly coming out about their jobs plan. Because when you have a region that has been through what East Charlotte has been through,
It has.
when you want to attract more businesses, and I want to see the growth of small business owners in our region. Now,
God bless you.
to get people to invest, open businesses, or bring good anchor stores or businesses there, there's some things that has to be addressed to ensure their agreement. There must be a good issue of public safety in the region where you want them to come to. They're wanting to know that because their employees, depending on what type of business it is, they want to know their employees are going to be safe, because some of them are going to want to live and maybe move into the area, because sometimes it's not always hiring from within the region. They're bringing employees sometimes, depending on the size of the company, from somewhere else. Public safety is important. The perception is reality.
It is.
So the other thing is they want to look at what does the census say about our education level. What is the education level of that region? They're looking at these things for the type of company that you want to attract into your region. What is the education level? Is it truthful? Are they being truthful about our level of education as far as the citizens on average? You know, everybody averages associate degree, 4-year degree, what have you. What is the education level? In addition to that, what are the schools? Again, perception is our reality. If our schools are getting bad ratings, they're not getting the good quality scores that we need them to have, then attracting particular businesses to that area becomes more difficult, because they're wanting to know that they can bring in families, or they need to bring in talent. If you wanted those big anchor businesses, if you wanted a technology giant to move anywhere in our region, what is the perception of our schools and the education level of our citizens, and what is the public safety measure? What is it like? So those are things that need to be always in consideration, and we have to change that by the branding. We have to brand. We have to take control. So starting with your elected official, and then going into the issue of making sure that you had a support from the city council to bring in the support factor, like I said, a Charlotte East partners, like they did with the Center City partners and the University City partners. We need to have committed support from our city government that you are going to invest in the future. Invest in the future of our community. You are fully committed. Show us that you are fully committed. As an elected official, I must make sure I get at the table on behalf of East Charlotte District 5 and let City Council know this is what we need. This is what my community desires, and this is how you can make it happen for us. And I have to.
And we will bless you back.
Yes,
It'll
that
be
is
paid
right.
forward, invest in us, and
That is right.
we will bless back the city. We will bless back the city.
It creates tax base. It creates tax revenue, of course. It creates a stable economy in that region. It helps to effectively address the issue of reducing crime when you can show an economy that's strengthening. You're not going to get rid of crime. So you will not ever hear me out of my mouth say to anyone in any forum, oh yeah, how are you going to get rid of crime? By not lying to you, because you can't. Okay? There's not anyone that says this is how we're going to get rid of crime is just trying to blow smoke.
How do you change the human heart? Heart condition.
That's what it comes down to, human heart
condition.
Okay? Where there's good, unfortunately, there's also evil. That's just the reality of mankind. Okay? If we can do, if
we're
we
all sinners, but we're also a little lower than the angels. Depends on.
But what it comes down to is, if there was this great answer, I don't need to be on city council to provide a way to reduce crime. I shouldn't say, well, once I get on city council, then I'm gonna provide you the way how we're gonna fix it. If I truly have that as a citizen who's concerned about the well-being of everyone, then would have already implemented that. So anyone that gives you an answer, say, I have a fix for crime. Well, why haven't you start working on that? You need city council. So if we elect you, then you're going to care about your community. That's not how that works. If you have that truly a plan, which no one really does, there's a way to reduce crime and eliminate some issues of crime. That's truly can be done. Okay, when you can put in a strong police force, because you really do need police. Okay,
yes, but you need fair judges. And honest to goodness, it's not just police.
No, that's not what I was getting at.
I've known so few.
But it's not. We really do need police. But at the same time, the police really do need us. They need us to support them and understand the stress that they are really under day in and day out. It's not a one-way thing. In addition to that, we need to make sure that there's a district attorney that will do his or her job to ensure that not only that the civilian criminals are dealt with properly, but the police officers who've done criminal acts are processed properly as well. You can't keep allowing
Justice
them to
for
get
all.
away with
Yes,
things
sir.
that me as a civilian can't get away with. So we need to make sure we start getting a better balance of that. And that does start with the district attorney's office, because they are the one that bring the charges when it comes to anyone. We have to make sure we have someone that's going to be fair for everyone.
This has been a most interesting discussion, and I want to thank you but for your honesty in answering me, because that was not the answer I wanted to hear. And it makes me doubt your future as a politician. An honest politician.
I'm going to maintain that honesty.
We thank you. You do that. We thank you for your honesty.
The runoff is October 10th. Important. The election is this November, but what's the second Tuesday?
For my race, I am only focused on October 10th, 2017. Once I am finished successfully with that, I am your new permanent city council representative for District 5. We do not have an opponent for November, so that is
So after the 10th,
after October 10th, I am the new representative for City Council District 5.
We just wind it up with, I know there's going to be a new district representative in District 1.
Yes.
And 7 districts and 4 at large. That seems like already a high percentage turnover.
Yes.
So how many other new representatives are we going to have in the city?
Well, you're going to have a new mayor. You're going to have definitely going to have new city council at large representatives. That's a fact. And you have right now at least District 2, District 1, District 5, District 6 will have brand new representatives.
That seems like 2/3 turnover you're talking about.
Yes. I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here to share my information.
No, it was been our pleasure, and come back when you got news of that we want to hear.
Will do. Thank you.
This has been The Profound of the Ordinary. I'm Gene Silver.
And I'm Michelle Pia, and we thank you.
Awesome.
Darrell Bonaparte, relative kings.